Good morning, everyone. Well, first of all, apologies because this garden stroll video is going up later than most of them do. And my excuse for that is the same reason why I currently have sunburned eyelids. We had a sailboat race Friday night. It's an overnight race. It took a little bit longer than expected. So we raced all night. We finished around 6:45 in the morning, and then we turn around and we come back across the lake. It's across to Michigan and back again. And we got back last night at about 7:30 or so. Then we ate dinner, and then we went to sleep for the first time since Thursday night. So just need a little time to catch up on things. And then the ridiculous sunburn that I'm sporting, which actually maybe doesn't look as bad when I'm standing here in the shade, is because on the way home, I fell asleep up on deck. Other people were there watching where the boat was going at the time. And that happened before the sun came out because it rained on us the whole time, and it was just so nice to like dry out a little bit. So I got sunburned eyelids because I didn't put any sunscreen on, and then I fell asleep in the sun. This is what happens. Anyway, don't be like me. Wear your sunscreen and put some sunglasses on before your eyelids get burned. So welcome to this week's unedited garden stroll. This one is literally going straight out of the camera up onto YouTube. I did want to start with a postcard because we have a postcard this week again. If you're new here, the postcard project is this thing where all of you lovely people send a postcard from a garden you visited or tell me about a garden you visited in a card, sharing the inspiration that you found there so that I can share it with everyone else. It has been a super fun project. We've been doing it for over a year or so. Unless I get like a big glut of them in at one point where we'll do just a whole video on those, I've just been kind of adding them onto these garden strolls as they come in. So this beautiful one with a golden rain tree pictured on it is from Van Dusen Botanical Garden in Carissa, which is in British Columbia, Canada. So, hey Erin, first of all, as a relatively new garden but so enthusiastic, I really have appreciated your channel, wisdom, creativity, and experience. Thank you so much. I'm glad to hear that. Although I'm in Canada, I think we garden in similar climates, even down to the squirrels eating my pears too. Thanks for all you do. She has a channel, Carissa's Garden, at Carissa's Garden, if you want to see a video of Van Dusen. So check that out if you want to see Van Dusen Garden. And she notes here, Carissa says, one of the things I learned from this garden is that I need more alliums in my garden. And I agree. Everyone needs more alliums in their garden because alliums are great. All right, let's go walk around and see what's been happening. My shoes from the boat may or may not be out on the deck trying to dry out because everything is soaked. Interestingly enough, yesterday while I was gone, we had a pretty hot day. It's the first hot day we've had here. And just in one day, I'm starting to see some growth on some things that have just been really pokey. So first of all, we talked last week about the poppies, and we're really in poppy season now. So every day there's a new poppy. This clump here has mostly turned out to be these pink doubles that I showed you last week. Now, again, I should get you out of the sun here so you can see these a little better. Again, these are all, some of these are volunteer, in fact, most of these are volunteers. I don't remember sowing seeds here. Some are from seeds I save and sow. But everything in my garden now is such a mix of all the poppies I've grown over the years that it's impossible to really give varieties with a few exceptions. This one, this sort of rosy coral, has really been a stunner this year. So what I'll do is I will let this plant stand. I will probably mark it with some string and make a note of it. Oh, look, there's a little bee having a little siesta in there. How cute. Because I'll want to save seeds from this one if I can, and then I'll mark those seeds and save those separately from the other ones. Now, one of the things that I was talking about where we've actually seen some growth, where we've not seen much, is here. So I underplanted, I did this front border this year, and we've not done a video about this at all, so you're really exclusive to the garden strolls, I guess. Did a much different thing than I usually do in this front border this year. I really wanted to highlight these 3 mangaves, Navajo Princess, that I have here for like bold texture. And in between there, we've got some Ascot Rainbow Euphorbia and a little bit of white Bidens. This is not Campfire Marshmallow. I couldn't find it anywhere. So this is a version of it, same white version. I grew these side by side with Campfire Marshmallow last year. Campfire Marshmallow has slightly bigger flowers, but otherwise the same in my experience from last year. Anyway, what I did was I underplanted the whole thing with alyssum. I went and bought, you know, those tiny little packs of bedding plants and jammed them in here, and they haven't been doing anything. But now I think you're starting to see, oh, something just jumped out of here. I think you're starting to see sort of my goal here, because they're all going to start to grow together. And so these plants will sort of sit on a bed of alyssum, and that alyssum literally first started doing anything yesterday. So that's been wild. The tiny tough stuffs are really starting to bloom, which means I really am behind on getting this honeysuckle behind it into shape, which will involve both pruning, because it's a little straggly looking, and actually twining these branches amongst themselves. This is a vine that I grow basically as a shrub just by training the branches. I did not put any soil acidifier on this year, but it's still, this one blues up fairly easy. So we still have some sort of lavender colors. Over here we've got pink. I love the undulating colors of this grouping. I think it looks really nice that way. On the urn, I'm gonna have to, instead of walking in there, it is a little difficult to get to at this time of year. The Centaura Silver Swirl is growing quite a lot already. Very interesting to me that's happening. And the Silene Sabella Carmine is sort of spilling out of this container, which was not what I thought it was going to do, but it's still really pretty. And I do think that Melianthus in the middle is starting to put some height on, and I see it's got a lot of new flowers coming up. So hopefully, I mean, it's already grown quite a bit, so hopefully we're going to get a nice big structural plant out of that. Let's walk a different direction than we usually do, because we always go the other way. You guys, we'll just point it out, still, these bracts on the Rosy Teacups Dogwood are hanging on. Every week I say that's the last week. I should go back on the videos. I'm certain this is the 5th week, if not the 6th week, that we've had color on this dogwood. I told you last week that I think I should probably prop up some of these branches. I definitely need to do this one. In the rain, it's getting scary low, and I'm so afraid we're gonna break a branch if I don't do that. This area in front of me here is looking so good right now. Just this little portion of this garden here is just perfect right now, at least to my eye. So what we have is, can you guys hear that bird up there just singing away? He's in the Mr. Magoo. I don't know what kind it is, but it certainly has a beautiful little song. You hear that? Okay, so this is Mr. Magoo, Picea engelmanni, and the branches die off from the bottom every year. So every year it gets a little taller, and I've been really starting to think about what to do with it. Although the overall height now has got to be 12 feet, maybe more, 13, 14 feet. And I'm really happy because the clematis that I grow up this is really filling in this blank area, so I don't mind this bare trunk. This is elegantissima, right? Alba elegantissima, something like that. Here's the flower on it. It's really interesting because some of the petals on the flower are green, and it's kind of like a grayish lavender white with green tinged petals. It's a very subtle clematis, but I think it's really beautiful, and you can see how far up it's going into this tree. I mean, you can see we go all the way up there. This is a group 3. I just cut it all the way back to the ground. Or if I want it to grow taller, I don't cut it all the way back to the ground. I just chop it somewhere because it will bloom on new growth. So if I want it a little taller, actually the branches, there's one even taller going up there. In front of that, this is a Ringo rose, which was totally nipped off by the deer, and then I got some more deer protection on there. We've got all new leafing out there, pretty yellow flowers on this rose. And then this is this penstemon, and I couldn't name it last week either. Mystic Merlin, Magical something. It's the Proven Winners penstemon. It's a very good one. It's got beautiful purple leaves on it. So we've got that. This is this a chive from Brent Horvath that's done flowering, so I should cut the whole thing back, and this one too. And then in front of this, we've got a series of Veronicas. This is white wands right here, which is where this started. And then I added in the blue one from that same series. The pink one was a trial plant last year from another brand, which I can't remember, otherwise I'd name it. Anyway, the whole combination here is really, really pretty. And then up here, you can see where we've got the dark breeder geranium, which self-seeds all over the place, which is fine. Coming up with the white wands coming up through it, and then we've contrasting that with this Earth Angel hosta, which yes, grows in basically full sun. That's just something we can do here in Wisconsin. Don't attempt that down in zone 8. And then here we have Snowy Spires verbascum. Now the foliage on verbascum is, it's a lot. And I will have to keep this a little bit in check because it's good right now, but if we get any more of this popping up, a little aggressive. But look at those beautiful, beautiful spires of flowers on there. Looks so good. And, well, there's some more verbascum over there. And then we've got the seed heads from Mount Everest allium, which are still looking good. And I will leave allium seed heads. I'm not one for painting them personally. A lot of people love that. It's not my thing. But that doesn't mean it's not a great idea. It's just not, I think they're pretty just the way they are, like this. So and even here, look at it from this way. I mean, I think this is just looking, primo right now. I couldn't be happier with this portion of things. This hasn't changed much because we've got mostly foliage plants over here, so they basically stay the same. There's Dorothy hanging out in the shade. Hi, Dorth. She is pooped because she had a super fun day with friends who were taking care of her. So she's tuckered out. She is a tuckered puppy. But she's enjoying it. It's about 60 degrees outside today. So that is the weird summer here. I don't know if I showed you this last week that, I always need to fill in this edge. So this year I did Queen Tut Papyrus, which is a great tut. Really, really nice. And then I just filled it in with some Euphorbia. That's kind of a mess over there and really needs some attention, and it's on the agenda. We just haven't gotten there yet. Let's look over here at this border, which we talk about a lot. Now, the Sanguisorba that I said last week, we should definitely stake that. Well, yep, I wasn't wrong. I can still stand that up. I'll probably tie just a string around the whole bunch. I think if I tie a string around this whole bunch, that'll be fine. But, I mean, these are big guys. Let me turn it around here so you can see. All right, so here's the Erin's head test. You can see how far over my head they are. So that's 6 feet tall, probably. I see we do have one flower. Boy, the roses, you guys know that I have issues with roses, but this is Crown Prince Marguerite. There's a big old earwig right there. Oh no, oh good, look at this. The Japanese beetles are here. Great, that's what we needed, was some more bugs. That's what's in there, Japanese beetles. Okay, the Japanese beetles have reached southeastern Wisconsin, fellow gardeners. Here's a pretty clematis, Nakushka, something like that. This is a non-vining type, so it grows up there and it just kind of flops over the rail. And oh, I was just gonna say, where is Sapphire Indigo? And here it is, both up here, growing up through all the stuff there, and flopping down here. I should kind of prop that up a little bit so it sits on the wall a little bit better. This is not a plant. I mean, it's a plant, but you know what I mean. I don't know if we talked much about the banana. This is banana number 1. It got planted here. This is where it was last year. These leaves look terrible. And these are the leaves that came out of, these are the storage leaves. These are not new leaves this year. This is leftover from last year. So now that we're starting to get some nice new foliage in here, I will cut these bad looking leaves off. I just didn't want to leave it standing there with nothing, but certainly these 2 bad looking leaves on the side will come off. And that's what I do, is as leaves decline, I just cut them off. I know we talked about Etoile Violet last week, but here it is really blooming like nuts. And that is what Etoile Violet does. It blooms like nuts. And I mean, look at that. It is, I mean, certainly on my top 5 clematis. This is one of those varieties I would not be without. And if I didn't like clematis so much, I would just plant and want to try a bunch of new varieties, I would just plant this one because, I mean, I would say that it's much darker purple than it's showing up in that, at least from what I'm seeing on the camera. But it is so floriferous and it does such a nice job. And it's super easy care. It's a group 3, so chop it off back to the ground. Do you see this cluster of foliage in the middle of this nepeta? So this is a great example of why you cut back your nepeta. So I can cut back all this nepeta around the edges. There's still some flowers on it that the bees have been on, so I've been holding off a little, but you can see we're gonna get a nice new fresh plant out of the middle, and actually it's already started shooting up out of the middle, so it's very easy to see where you cut on something like that. Now I've actually not been in the garden for a couple of days, so I don't actually know what's lurking around every corner here. So this is a bit of an adventure for me as well. I am happy to see that we have kept the rabbits off of Clematis purpurea recta compacta. This Christophii is huge, this specific one right here. I see that there's some weeding to be done in there. Where are we gonna go next? Just trying to figure out where we're going because, like I said, I haven't even walked around yet. These are some these are new Achilles, I think. I planted some new ones in here. I think these are the new ones. Pretty sure this is marmalade. It's very pretty. I like it. There should be moonshine in here too, I think. We're starting to get some nice, now I see people's Annabelle's already blooming, which is crazy, but we are starting to get some, sizable flowers on top of here. And again, on the list of things that gardeners are always thinking, these Annabelles have not flopped yet. They will, we know it. It's okay. I actually don't mind the flopping on that. This is Niobe clematis, which is supposed to be climbing up this piece of driftwood, but I didn't get over here to train it, so I will have to fix that. It's pretty, I mean, maybe it got forgotten about when I was fertilizing. This is about what I've seen for flowers. I'm not gonna say it's the most floriferous one that we've seen. Boom Chocolata is looking really good over here. Oh God, thistles are looking really good too, but Boom Chocolata looking really pretty over in this corner. This is actually mostly shade over in this corner. You can tell because we've got the Hecla Chloa over here, but this time of day, this gets a nice little shot of sun, which I think every plant appreciates at this time of day. For comparison, this is Tough Stuff hydrangea. Now this is growing in less sun than the tiny Tough Stuffs, but it's just starting to flower up. And I wouldn't say I'm seeing a lot of flowers. I did prune this guy late last year. Like I gave it a pretty late prune. So probably we're not gonna see flowers till later because we're probably just gonna get mostly new blooms on this. And I knew that would happen when I pruned it a little on the late side last year. I actually prefer the flowers on Tough Stuff, which are more of a single. You can barely tell anything from that, but I prefer that to the doubles on the tiny Tough Stuff. But the tiny Tough Stuff is an overall smaller plant, which can be kind of nice. Here's some fluffy red pom-pom poppies, which actually worked out well in this bed that they're in. Oh, the Midnight Sun Weigela is starting to color up now. So we are starting to get some really beautiful color on that, which is nice. Lots of clematis growing well here. Did you see the bunny that just ran out of here? Everything just started growing. It's pretty amazing how everything just started putting on growth. It's all been sitting there, including the mini watermelon coleus and then the cherry cordial begonias. And I love this combination. Like the more they grow, the better this combo gets. Here's a tiny little, this is probably Lauren's grape, but it's tiny. So it either got sowed late or germinated late, or there wasn't enough room, or some reason why that one is smaller than others. The hostas are starting to bloom, which, I mean, I don't care. I don't know. I mean, some people love hosta blooms, and some hostas definitely have prettier flowers than others. I don't know. I mean, this is, I will say this is Dawn's Really Light. We talk about this hosta probably every video. I will say the lavender color with the very light chartreuse is pretty. So we'll give it that. This is shredded umbrella plant, which is starting to flower. I mean, I don't grow it for the flowers, but I don't mind them being there. I grow it for those fabulous leaves. Here's the little blue mouse here. I need to come in. You can see we're getting a little murky on that water, so I'll do a full water change later today on this pond. You can see this is blue mouse ears. Now they have cute little flowers on them, so that's nice. We are getting some semi-proper-ish flowers over here on Haas Halo. This is a lace cap, so you know this is how they bloom, but they're just starting to open up. Really pretty. I mean, pretty amazing. Planted a year ago. I mean, we're gonna give big props to those hydrangeas because they are looking good. Oh, we've got some beautiful poppies. Oh my gosh, I'm excited. I just noticed them. Same dogwood we talk about every week, which is Big Apple, which still has nice big flowers on it. Here, look at how pretty this is. Check out this combination. Oh God. See now, you guys, I'm pretty sure I threw these poppy seeds over here, but this worked out so well. So this is feverfew growing through here. And then look at this deep, dark red poppy. I mean, I'm thrilled. I think that looks, first of all, it looks like it just happened, which it kind of did. And I do love that when there is that look in a garden of sort of something being unplanned. But second of all, this color combo and everything, very happy with that. There's a thalictrum. You guys, I can't remember which one this is, and it's early and I'm tired. But pretty yellow flowers on this guy, which is unusual for some of the thalictrums that I grow here. So mostly this is just adding, this one has kind of bluish gray foliage on it, which is really pretty, and a little bit different foliage than if we come over here to, this is Ellen, which is a very big one. Now Ellen is dealing with, you can see she's got some powdery mildew on her, but this one will get 8 feet tall. And we're gonna have purple flowers on this one, not that you can tell that from that angle, but slightly different leaf and a greener leaf color than the sort of bluish gray that's on this one over here, which happens to work perfectly with those poppies, which again is, oh, that's really pretty. Nice little moment right there. Remember how I keep talking about how I'm gonna dig out the verbascum? Well, now they're flowering. So they're really pretty when they're in flower. So I will let them flower and then we will dig them out because I don't really want those reseeding all over the place. Just kind of surveying the area, looking for good things here. I've been pointing out the Carex pennsylvanica area here since spring. It really does look good. It would look way better if I got that lily of the valley that's popping up through it out of there. Here's another shredded umbrella plant, which I just stuck in here, which I love this look. There's a hosta. Boy, have the slugs done a number on the hostas this year. Well, a number on everything, to be honest, but let's pop around this way because I think the shastas are blooming. They are. Here's Nepeta subsessilus Blue Prelude, which we talked about last week. Still looking great. I'm telling you, that Nepeta just keeps looking good. Here's our shastas, which, you know, I love a blue and white moment. So if we look here with the Blue Prelude in the back and these here, you know, shastas to me don't perform long enough to make me want to plant them all over the garden, but I do love a moment of shastas. I think it's really pretty. Just see if there's anything blooming over here. Oh, we do have some alliums coming up here. And there is a chance, I wonder what that one is. Because I did plant some summer drummers around. Maybe that's summer drummer. That'd be really cool if summer drummer were coming up. My neighbor asked me what thistle this was. It's not a thistle. It's globe thistle, which is not a thistle. This is eryngium. But I understand how it could be mistaken. Let's just pop into the vegetable garden. We didn't go there last week because we were running around from the rain, trying to keep the clematis pointing in the right direction this year, and it's been so windy that it keeps flopping over on me, so I guess I'm gonna have to tie some of it up. This is Little Boss clematis. This is the ones that I wrestled out of their pots this year. You can see they're still doing really well. Here's the herb area. Trying to get my little hedge of bonsai basil going here. They're a little slow to get going. It's okay. It's fine. I have a lot of peppers on, which is kind of shocking. This is onions here, but over here is garlic, and I picked most of the scapes. I see I missed a scape. It's not the worst thing to miss a scape, because one of the things that can tell you it might be time to harvest your garlic is if you did leave a scape on, it'll grow straight up in the air. We're a ways away from that here, at least a couple of weeks away from harvesting garlic, but I am looking forward to doing that. We are starting to get our first sweet pea flowers, but they've been kind of disappointing this year. They're not very big. Maybe I got to get in here with a little bit more fertilizer. I mean, they're kind of smallish and a little late. But like, again, there hasn't been any, not that sweet peas want hot temperatures, but there's not been heat here. I know that sounds crazy when the rest of the country is burning up, but that's what's been happening here. This is Nigella, which self-seeds like nuts. You can see Nigella everywhere in here because it just goes nuts, but it's very pretty. And I love the seed heads as much as I love the actual flowers. Did do some pruning on most of the espaliers. I did not get all those on the top there. I'll have to get the ladder out to go get those. Here, let's feed the fish as long as we're here. So I'm training my fish, you guys. Did I tell you that last week, that I'm training them? So I knock gently on the side of this when I'm coming with food, and sometimes the minnows come right away. I've got minnows, and oh, see, they're starting to come. I don't know if you can see them in there, but they're coming. So I'm trying to train them to come when I call them, which means they get food. And so they're circling now. I don't know if you can see through the water, but it does work. In here, you'll see them come up quick. And the minnows, which are the little peach colored guys, come first, and then the comets come. The bigger ones, or the brighter orange, or the white and oranges, those are all the comets. Anyway, so my goal is to get these fish trained, and they're doing pretty good. So that nice little double gentle wrap on the side is my sign that food is coming. Lots of snapdragons flower, well, starting to flower anyway. Hang on, gotta wave to the neighbors. Tomatoes finally growing, which is amazing because, again, not been much happening. Squashes mostly looking good. The zucchinis got nipped off by something. I could use some sweet potato advice. I think something's eating it. Some of them did sprout. This whole bed is supposed to be sweet potatoes. This is happening on one of them. If anyone grows sweet potatoes, I'll take any advice about what I should be doing here, or if this is a loss, or what the plan is. Okay, let's check out. I don't think there's anything new to show you with these shade planters over here, except that they still exist, which is great, right? Working on cleaning out this path a little bit. I think last week I showed you that the sweet woodruff was really starting to take over in this area. So we are, and when I say we I mean Carol, who helps me occasionally in the garden. We're working on cleaning this area out of most, if not all, of the sweet woodruff, just because it got a little nutty on us. Here's Roy's garden over here. I've got some new plants to add to this garden, and I'm hoping that is going to happen today. Sort of replacement plants for the most part, and that's mostly over here because of the Dischampsia gold tau really is had some issues this year. I fear we might have a jumping worm problem over here, but I just don't really feel like thinking about it, so I haven't much. This is crystal blue salvia, and you can see that it has basically come to its end. Crystal blue salvia, in my experience, reblooms better than most other varieties, so I have no doubt we will see a second bloom on these for sure. The alliums here are starting to get themselves organized. Hold on a second, I gotta answer the phone. Sorry, that was Mr. Much More Patient calling from the hardware store because he's picking out spray paint for a garden art that we're painting. So, something he gave my Christmas gift, which we're finally getting out into the garden. We've kind of covered this area already when we walked around the front, but we're gonna go past it again because we did kind of skip over some other stuff on the front patio. And there are some containers looking kind of nice over there. So you get a little stroll this way again. I thought we should check in on banana number 2, Chiquita. Here she is. She's got some leaves that could be cut off too. I just don't like to leave them standing naked, so I will clean up those leaves as new ones come in. The rest of this container is looking, I think, pretty good. The firecracker plant is firecrackering, which I think is pretty. We've got the Jasmine Fiona Sunrise starting to put some growth on. Everything's okay here. You know, really our biggest struggle this year has been with too much water, with the exception of the willow planters, which are needy little buggers. We went 2 days without rain, and this one got super funky and sucked up so much water that there was nothing for the little sun patients. The sun patients all wilted because these willows, as a surprise to no one, are sucking up all the water, which is fine. It just means that this is a daily waterer. These planters need to be watered daily. I am, however, absolutely loving the golden curls willow in them. I love these planters. I think they're looking really cool, and I think it's a pretty genius centerpiece for a container if you want something a little different with a lot of texture and you don't mind watering. Okay, these plants are getting homes today. Many of these plants are also getting homes today. Basically, everything needs to get a home. I mean, check out some of the dahlias. Like look at that. That dahlia is like raring to go. Along the front border here, another spot we haven't done a video on, but Delphinium Cheer Blue Volunteer, still just looking just absolutely outstanding there. The window box has not really done much yet. Looks pretty much like when I planted it. I will say that's undoubtedly because, again, we just haven't had a lot of heat, and so many of these plants are tropicals and they want heat. And what happened to my eucomis here? Why is my eucomis looking like that? That doesn't look right. Huh. I'm a little surprised that these eucomis look so incredibly pathetic right now. Wonder if something happened to that one. Anyway, exciting news. There is a fig on little Miss Figgy right there, little baby fig. In fact, there are several baby figs. We're gonna get figs from Miss Figgy this year. Pretty happy about that. I still have the Chicago Hardy fig. I had to move it to the vegetable garden though, because it just got too big and I didn't have room for it on the patio. The Royal Sunset lilies are gonna bloom real soon and real early. That's early here. But they're looking good back there, as is this planter, which I think is looking particularly good. I'm gonna come in here and prune some of these Plectranthus so we give this Lamandra a little bit of room to grow, because I want that Lamandra to get big and beautiful in the middle there. But all of these, the Kent Beauty is starting to flower. This is Kent Beauty Ornamental Oregano. It's such a gorgeous little plant. This is Bellissimo Ornamental Oregano, which is not doing basically anything yet, but Kent Beauty is certainly coming through, looking beautiful. Oh, one other thing. I must show you the latest weird blooming clematis. Not weird blooming, weird blooming shrub which is limelight on its first set of blooms, which is, of course, this is Prince Charles clematis growing up through this limelight, which is fabulous because, of course, limelights don't bloom till later. So now we get beautiful blue flowers in our limelight. This is another one that I don't prune all the way to the ground because I want it to get a little taller to get to the top of the limelight. And it kind of pops up all over the place. You can see there's a bunch more coming up on this side as well. I think you can see that. So that's always a good look. I mean, I just think it's surprising and fun. And more than that, it's just another place to grow a clematis. And I'm always looking for places to do that. This is also Royal Sunset Lilies in front here. These seem taller than the other ones. They also seem a lot taller than the ones I always see on Mackinac Island, which I swear bloom at 2 feet tall. It's fine. I don't know why they do that, but maybe it's just because we've had so much rain this year and they are bigger. Anyway, that'll be very pretty when those get going too. All right, there's your unedited garden stroll video for this week. Thank you for watching. Hit like and subscribe. And if you are subscribed, I think you got to go looking for the videos anyways. I'm just seeing a lot of people again who are subscribed who say, I never see your videos. And you know, the thing that makes YouTube know if you want to see a video or not is, in addition to subscribing to them, they really want you interacting with them or liking with the video before or watching a video before, and then it'll start to show you those other ones. It's probably more work than it should be for you guys to find that stuff, but whatever. You know, that's how it works, so that's the game we play. Thank you for watching. Have a great week. Because last week was interrupted with some stuff related to being away a little bit, there's at least one video that is like ready to go up. And then I've got a couple other interesting ones coming this week. And of course, it's 4th of July holiday this week already. I don't know how that happened, but I better get moving on those plants because the goal lately has been everything in the ground by July 4th. We'll see if we nail that or not. Have a great day in your garden, everybody. Thanks for being patient this morning and have a great day. Bye-bye.